There is a big story just breaking now. We wanted to bring it to you. We've got an exclusive scoop on this. A little earlier today, I got a phone call from a production crew, actually somebody from Kevin Spacey's Trigger Street Productions, Dana Brunetti, and he called me up and said, we've got a film crew doing a documentary on hacking, and they have been following around a guy named Adrian Lamo. You may remember Adrian Lamo. He's been on the show before.
Real nice guy.
Wonderful guy. He's a hacker, but a kind of a gray hat hacker. What he does is he breaks into systems and then goes to the company and says, your system has a flaw in it. Here's what it is. Fix it.
Right. He doesn't steal any information. He doesn't take anything and use it for bad. He's a good hacker.
Well, I'll give you an example. And this may be an example that's going to put Adrian Lamo in jail, as we find out. He hacked into the New York Times site and found out it was very easy to get in and take the social security numbers of many of its contributors, including Warren Beatty and Rush Limbaugh. Now, when he was in there, he added his name to the name of contributors to the New York Times, but that's the only change he says he made. And then he notified the New York Times and the press that there was a flaw, a problem with the New York Times. Security. The New York Times was mad. They said, we're considering prosecuting Adrian, and hacking is a federal offense punishable by 5 years. In any event, Dana's crew was following Adrian Lamo around, and after they were finished filming, Adrian's parents were served with a warrant for his arrest. The FBI came to their house.
So we have no idea what this warrant's for.
We believe it's for hacking, but we don't know. You're right. Adrian has made a deal with the federal public defenders to turn himself in, and he's agreed to talk to us just before he does that. He's about to do that today. We're getting him on the phone right now. Before we do that, though, let's show a little clip of Adrian Lamo the last time he was on the Screensavers.
I really don't think that I could stop doing it if I tried. Even in a prison cell, I would find ways to find discrepancies and anomalies in the system, whatever it is that the system may be there.
Well, we wish you luck. I hope you don't end up in a prison cell.
Well, if I do, I'm sure I'll make an experience out of it.
Things have turned bad, I guess, for Adrian Lamo because he may, in fact, be prosecuted. He's on the line right now from Sacramento, California, I believe on a cell phone. Adrian, thanks for joining us.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Adrian, what happened?
It's really hard to say. I've not been given a lot of information at this time, but about a week and a half ago, I was given information that led me to believe that the FBI was researching me. And as of 2 days ago, the FBI has in fact tipped its hand and given me solid reason to know that they want to have a word with me.
How did you find out? Dana told me that they came to your parents' house?
They went to my parents' house, where I do not live, and I think that's just the best address that they could figure out for me. They went there on the hope that I would be there, and they badgered my parents a bit. They wanted to search the premises. My mother, whom I'm very proud of in this regard, refused to let the FBI agents in, and they threatened to come back with a search warrant, which is really baseless and needless intimidation since there's no evidence there and I don't live there, so there's no reason that they would need to turn my upside down.
So now when you said that they wanted to have a word with you, they actually have a warrant for your arrest right now. Is that correct?
Yes, they have a federal arrest warrant out of New York City.
And do you know what the charges are, Adrian?
I've made to understand that the charges relate to alleged violations of Title 18, Sections 1029 and 1030 of U.S. Code.
That's
I
happening?
don't know the charges, and nobody's saying anything, but I have reasons to believe that they relate to a criminal complaint that was made by the New York Times relating to my publicized intrusion into their systems last year.
So where are you now?
I am in a safe place.
In Sacramento?
I'm currently in a state of transit. I'm in the process of corresponding with my public defender, who is corresponding with the prosecutors in this matter. It's my intention to turn myself in once I've reviewed the charges against me if I find them fair. I have no reason to believe they will not be fair.
Now, I've been told that those charges are sealed, and in fact, they don't intend to let you see them until you turn yourself in. Have you heard that?
I have heard that. I've been told that the charges are sealed, that they are not letting on at this time what it's about. But
what will you do if they don't show you the charges?
No, I really think they won't come to that. I like to think that the people involved in this, the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI, will be gentlemanly about it, that they'll have a chance to sort of, in a way, make up for their conduct in dealing with my parents by being nice about it and really understanding that I'm a reasonable person, and if they're reasonable, everybody involved is reasonable, and things will go okay.
So it's your intent, then, to turn yourself in after you see the charges?
I have no reason to believe that that will not be the plan of action.
Okay.
I like to think that the charges are going to be reasonable, and I intend to defend myself vigorously.
Are you worried, though, that they might be, in this post-9/11 world, preparing to throw the book at you?
It's a possibility, and it's entirely possible that they may want to make an example out of me. And if that's the case, then I certainly intend to give them a run for their money in terms of legal defense. This will not be a slam dunk prosecution.
Right.
This will be something that they're going to have to work for, and I really don't know what kind of precedent they want to set here, because really the only precedent they're setting is that it doesn't matter how much good faith you go about what you're doing, no matter how much you try to cooperate with the companies, no matter what you do, they're still going to come after you. And if that's a precedent they want to set, I think that it's bad for them. It's bad for people that want to help security, and it's really bad for the companies that are getting intruded upon, because it really cuts down their level of support.
You're with the camera crew right now, aren't you?
That is correct.
Yeah. This is the Trigger Street crew that is doing a documentary, and you've been part of that documentary.
That is also correct.
Yeah.
And they're sticking around so that they can document it if I get grabbed off the street. And so far it's been an interesting time. It's a little bit surreal for me.
Are you afraid, Adrian?
I'm worried, and of course there's always fear. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know where it goes from here. This is the story of my life unfolding, and for lots of people that are watching this, it's something else on the news, something to look at, something that they'll change the channel after seeing. And for me, it's very real. I don't know if after I get off the phone, white SUVs are going to pull up and grab me. I don't know what the FBI's plans are for me. I don't know where any of this goes from here. This is a day that will be very decisive for my life, and this is a series of days that will be very decisive for the course of my life. And it's a shame that it had to come to this. I think that it could have been done better. I think that the New York Times could have conducted itself better. But I think that it's going to be interesting from here. I intend to make the best of the experience, and I intended to show that this sort of thing can't be seen as a deterrent, that I'm not going to let this deter me from doing what I do. And that really I'm going to try and make the best of all of it.
Do you feel at this point that you've done anything wrong?
I've done things that some people will see as illegal and some that probably are illegal, but I don't see myself as having done anything wrong, in the sense that I believe that every action that we take in this world has value, and that everything contributes to the evolution of the Internet, society, the world that we live in, and the universe as a large. In a closed system like the universe, nothing is ever wasted, nothing ever goes away, and everything we do is recycled.
Are you there?
I'm still here.
Okay. What do you?
I don't think that things happen by accident. I think that this is happening for a reason. I think that everything that I have done has happened for a reason. And I don't think that I've done anything wrong more than I feel that the FBI is doing anything wrong. We're all doing what we feel our role is in this world.
What are your plans for tonight? Where are you going next?
I intend to go to a safe place where I can review my legal options. And I would have strongly considered turning myself in today, but if I were to turn myself in today, I would sit in jail, and since they would be unable to actually have a bail hearing until Monday.
Right.
And as such, I don't think that would benefit anybody. I don't have any plans for the country, and I intend to answer for my actions and defend myself vigorously.
You are in touch with a lawyer, of course.
Yes, I have a federal public defender who has been very nice and very helpful, and I'm grateful to have her assistance. And
is she encouraging you to turn yourself in now, or?
Yes, her advice is, of course, for me to turn myself in as soon as it's humanly possible. Okay. And that's, of course, always the attorney's advice. And this sounds really great on paper, but it's a very big psychological step, and I think that any reasonable person would understand that nobody wants to turn themselves in, nobody wants to step into the unknown, having some idea of what's there. It's human nature to fear the unknown, and I don't know what the charges against me are. I don't know what they want from me. And I don't know where this is going to go, and I don't think it's unreasonable for me to want clarification on this before I take that step. I think that I at least deserve to know what it is that they want me for.
Right.
Now, worst case scenario, if they don't show you the charges, are you going to consider possibly hiding out for a while until they do, or what would you do next?
I intend to consider vigorous negotiation, and I intend to try and convince them that I'm a reasonable person and that it benefits everybody for them to be reasonable. And I believe that they are reasonable people. I haven't spoken as attorney involved myself, but my defender has. And she has said only good things about him in terms of his attitudes towards this case. I mean, obviously his attitudes towards this case are not the ones that I would have chosen, but insofar as the demands of his station. He is doing what he needs to do, and I don't think that he is. I think that he's a reasonable person based on what's been told to me, and I regret that I have to make his job more difficult, but that's how these things work.
Adrian, we thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Is there any last words you'd like to say, anything you'd like to say to the people who are watching?
I very much appreciate all the support that I've gotten from the people that have emailed me, called me, and otherwise contacted me. It's, in many ways, it's a unique time for me in that this is something that people always read about, that something that you see on TV, but you don't really know what it's like until it happens to you. But having been there, I would not change anything that I've done. It's all been worthwhile, and I'm glad that I never let the possibility of this deter me from doing what I did. And I hope that the people out there who are considering courses of life of their own, I'm going to wait for this truck to go by, people out there who are considering their own courses in life will not let the people that want to criminalize curiosity stop them from doing what they want to do. And I think that it was all worthwhile.
All right.
It's been a strange trip, and it's probably only going to get stranger, but I think it's also going to be very, very interesting. And even if I end up away from a computer and unable to do what I do online, I don't think that will stop me from learning or exploring.
Well, Adrian, we really appreciate your time. We wish you all the best. We know that you're going through a tough time right now. We do hope you get a fair chance, as every citizen in this country deserves, in court. Good luck to you, Adrian.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, believe me, we're not going to turn the channel and go on. We're going to continue to follow the story.
Definitely.
Thank you, Adrian.
That's genuinely appreciated.
Okay, good luck, guy. Adrian Lamo, as you heard, there's a federal warrant out for his arrest for hacking crimes, basically. He believes it's a complaint that the New York Times filed against him. He hacked them sometime last year. He hasn't decided yet whether he's going to turn himself in. He says he's waiting to see the charges, but he thinks he probably will. He's been in touch with his public defender, and he has representation, and I guess it's an uncertain night. He just doesn't want to spend the weekend in jail.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that there's been a lot of companies that have actually thanked him for what he's done and actually finding these exploits and helping them patch them. So this just happens to be one of the companies that's actually against him and says...
Wasn't so happy
about it.
Yeah,
wasn't so happy about it. So, I don't know, that's a tough one.
Wow. We'll continue to follow it, of course, and we'll let you know what happens to Adrian. But meanwhile...